Kyla Redgate. Number 10, Captain Alyssa Kraus. Number 12, Michaelin Jacobson. Number 13, Audrey Sharp. Number 15, Captain Lauren Beccaria. Number 17, Captain Grace Murphy. Number 19, Madeline Canasola. Number 20, Jacqueline Constanti. Number 21, Chloe Mazzio. Number 25, Kristen Wales. And in goal, Allison Wells. Starting lineup today for the Darien Blue Wave, led by head coach Mo Minicus, assisted by Sherry Ramsey. Starting lineup today, number 1, Molly Hellman. Number 2, Sally Cassidy. Number 6, Kerry Blatney. Number 8, Lily Wallach. Number 11, Kendall Wazinski. Number 12, Sydney Schranker. Number 13, Bridget Mahoney. Number 16, Shay Vandenbroek. Number 22, Katie Elder. Number 23, Kiki Tropsa. And in goal, the keeper is Erica Blaze. Please rise to honor America. Today we have the pleasure of having Kara John sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
It's a great shot on goal. It could be there. There it is. Wow. There it is.
Great shot. Joyce the snap. Back to pass. Pressure coming. Unloads it. Caught at the 15 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Darien. Day checks out.
Saved by Escamilla.
And a great look, great effort by Lindsay Bennett.
Trying to get an aerial there.
There it is. Yes.
The Darien Athletic Foundation is proud to present high school field hockey this afternoon from Stadium Field on the campus of Darien High School. It's the Darien Blue Wave versus the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons in the quarterfinals of the FCIAC tournament. Hi, everybody. I'm Damian Andrew, and welcome to this DAF media broadcast. The postseason is upon us. Darien is the 3 seed in the FCIAC playoffs. Fairfield Ludlowe, the 6 seed. And joining me this afternoon for the broadcast is the Darien JV field hockey coach, Kari Johns, and Sarah Hutchinson, the JV field hockey coach at Fairfield Ludlowe. Ladies, welcome in. And Kari, I might start off by what a great rendition of the national anthem.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Well, this is a rematch of a regular season game from about a month ago here at Stadium Field. Darien beat Fairfield Ludlowe 1-0, and Sarah, a defensive game to say the least. And I know Coach Skarupa of Fairfield Ludlowe prides himself on defense.
Yeah, our defense is really, really strong this season. We have 8 seniors, and our defense is all seniors, 2 of whom are playing in college. So, you know, they're just the stronghold of our team.
And we are underway here on a beautiful fall afternoon on the campus of Darien High School.
So Kendall Wazinski just threw a great 3D ball, aerial ball into Ludlowe defensive end, and unfortunately there's a stick tackle from behind, so Ludlow's taking this ball out, but it was stopped again by Katie Elders, who's trying to get circle entry, and she gets a great shot off into the keeper, but it's being called high by the umpire, and I think I would agree with that call coming in. It was a little dangerous to the players. So Ludlow having an opportunity to get this ball to the defensive end early.
Grace Murphy takes it out to Kyla Redgate, who can't quite get a handle on it.
And that was a stick foul, thank you, on Fairfield Ludlowe. So Darien will have that ball, and they're going to just carry that ball 5 yards before entering into the circle. So possession, drawing it down the right side. And there's Lindsay Wallach sending a ball up to, looks like Molly Hellman. Molly once again has to carry this ball 5 yards, and she just made a pass in. Ludlowe had an opportunity to clear that ball out, but Bridget Mahoney's in possession and see if she can get something going. That was a great send out by defense, and it should be coming out. That's a great job by the Ludlowe defense to get that ball out, stay low and strong. So Ludlowe has an opportunity again here to clear the ball out of their defensive end. It's a 16-yard hit.
Grace Murphy lifts the ball up. Grace Murphy's playing at Middlebury College next year. You know, she has really been an amazing captain for this team. Her leadership is just tremendous.
It's great. She's going to be joining a few Darien players who were there. Marissa Baker, who graduated last year,
That's so exciting.
Yeah, super fun. And here's Bridget Mahoney again, who's really the center of this team, who can really control the ball. And Darien's going to try to switch of fields by dropping this ball back, finding the space on the field, and Lindsay Wallach misses that ball, so Ludlowe is now having an opportunity to attack in the offensive end. It's Kyla again taking that ball, yeah? And a little lift, and she is getting another opportunity. It's a great stop by Katie Elders, and Kyla gets that ball from Ludlowe, gets that ball back. I can remember that name because it's my daughter's name, Kyla.
It's really exciting, the FCIAC and field hockey this fall. Just the playoffs and how much the talent has really kind of equally distributed throughout the league, you know. Just amazing.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, how a lot of these players are getting some great club opportunities, and as we know, they develop off-season so much.
Absolutely.
More touches on the ball. They get more playing experience in teams outside of the area of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, which is where the heart of field hockey. So those that can get that experience get a little bit more exposed to the game. Here's Carrie Blatney, who's playing left back, is going to try to get this ball out of the defensive end for Darien. She does a short pass, I believe was intended for Katie Elders and did not receive, so Ludlowe having another opportunity to attack.
Lauren Beccaria looks really good today. She's on her toes, and she's really pressuring the ball. It's so good for Ludlowe because Lauren Beccaria, again, is one of our captains, and the team really looks to her for her energy.
Well, There's a hit in that was stopped by Molly Hellman, who's sending the ball up the right wing, but Darien's going to have possession and a side in, just inside the offensive.
We've
50.
talked so much about Molly Hellman on
Yes.
some of these broadcasts.
Yeah.
The sophomore, 5 goals, 5 assists
Yeah.
coming into the postseason.
Yeah.
She has certainly played well this season as a 10th grader.
You know, she's so quick and she's fearless. She will go after any ball and sacrifices everything to get the play done. So that's something you can't teach. So as long as she can get that skill done, she has that heart and that passion, it goes such a long way. And that should have probably been a third-party call, but I think it's a great That's a great pass by, if I had to say.
Oh, good hit in.
It was a great hit by Bridget Mahoney, but unfortunately no one was there to touch. And so, again, Ludlow going to have an opportunity here to get out. The play's been going back and forth nicely the first few minutes.
It is great to have Fairfield Ludlow's JV field hockey coach, Sarah Huntington, on the broadcast. And, of course, Darien's JV field hockey coach, Kari Johns, into the circle.
Ooh. There's a shot on cage by Darien, but it just went wide of the cage.
Good block by Kristen Wales, too. Again, another defensive back that we're really going to miss next season because she is just so strong back there.
I would imagine, ladies, this has got to be a pretty big game for both goalies.
Oh, absolutely.
Allison Wales and Erica Blaze. Blaze had 4 saves in that 1-0 win over Ludlow back at the end of September, but chances of this one being a low-scoring affair are probably good.
Yeah, we've talked so much about field hockey being such a low-scoring game and sport. Everyone who tries to get into understanding the game that's their comment. It's such a low-scoring sport. It's boring. Nothing happens between the. Whereas we see all different. We see all different kinds of things.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you say that too because I remember, like 10 years ago, Darien was like beating teams like 10-1, like 12-3. So when they talk about that, sometimes in those earlier days when field hockey was a little bit more lopsided and not as many girls were playing club, you definitely had these like powerhouse programs. And Darien is one of those, I think.
Well, much more parity in the FCIAC the last couple of seasons.
Absolutely.
I mean, Norwalk's the 2 seed in the
Absolutely.
FCIAC. Coach Seberg has done a nice job with the Bears program.
Yeah.
Obviously, Greenwich has always been there. They're the top seed in the FCIAC playoffs. Fairfield Ludlow's program has improved in recent years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I talked to Coach Garupa before the game started. This is his 3rd season as the head coach, but as he reminded me, he goes, I've been around the game for the last 30 years at all levels.
Yeah.
And it's pretty impressive his ability to change and transform his coaching style, in those 30 years too.
Oh, there is a scoring opportunity for Ludlow coming inside the circle. It was cleared by Erica Blaze, although the ball came outside of the circle. Had no one touched it, we probably could have made that, just let that go. But now Ludlow with another offensive opportunity. That ball should be coming out. Yeah, she didn't travel 5 yards before entering that ball in the circle.
And, of course, your buddy at Staples, Ian Tapsell, has done a nice job with the Wreckers program the last few seasons.
And his daughter is playing
His
for
daughter
Ludlow.
plays for Ludlow. And Karen is another one of our FHCC coaches as well. So this is a family affair today.
Absolutely.
And Ian, Staples is playing today, correct?
Staples playing Wilton today, which is going to be, I think, the toughest matchup of the day. The 3 and 4 or 4 and 5 is always a tough slot. Now Ludlow has an opportunity, but fortunately hit a foot. So now Darien having a chance to get this ball out of the defensive end and see if this can happen. But Ludlow's applying great pressure and have another opportunity here to attack. The ball goes back to, is that Grace?
Yeah, that's Grace Murphy.
Grace Murphy. And but Sydney Schrenker not letting it go so fast, putting her hand up for that foul to signal to the umpire. And Kiki Tropsa getting that ball out to the right side. As we talked about before, attacking from the right is imperative because it's the opponent's non-stick side. And now Kendall Wazinski with an opportunity to get something in, and that was a great stop.
That was Kristen Wales on that side.
So goalkeeper sister or twin? We were trying to
twin. Okay. They're identical twins. Actually, Allison Wales, I'm helping her with her college essay.
Great.
And she's writing about this is the first time, that they're on the precipice of being separated and not being on the same team. So it's just a really, really awesome season for the two of them.
It's great. Yeah, we've had quite a few twins on the team. Yeah, and it's always difficult when they have to separate, but it's good. They always find it to be a positive.
Absolutely.
Ludlowe again and attacking in, and they've got
Lauren Beccaria, who was the leading scorer in the FCIAC last season, carries the ball up to Jackie Costanti. Jackie's mom is actually the coach of the freshman program at Ludlowe, so like you were saying, a family affair, it certainly is one.
So Ludlowe having an opportunity to attack, and they just have to carry this ball 5 yards, which they did, and now looks like they're getting another call from George. Just remembered his name. The umpire.
Excellent.
I knew it would come. If they just carry that ball 5 yards, that looks like about 2. Yeah, it didn't quite go.
We've been having difficulty with that all season, and again, that it's a quick start by Darien. That's one of the things Ludlowe has to focus on, those quick starts by the opponents. Sometimes they're not ready, so they got to be on their toes.
Yeah, that was a quick start, but unfortunately nothing happened with it. Now Ludlowe got the ball back in, and now it's a little bit of a match between the 225s right now between these two teams, which is exactly, I think, what you would expect in an FCIAC playoff game. So this is another call, transfer of the ball, so we're going to send it back. You always look to try to find space on the field, and that's a great bit of stick work by Sally Cassidy. She sends that ball out wide to Carrie Blatney, who's now going to read, but Kyla
Redgate.
Takes steps up, and there's a great defensive stop as well by Ludlowe.
It's good to see Kyla on her toes. I know she has a really difficult academic schedule. She's taking like all APs, and she applied to college early, and she was been suffering a little bit of fatigue this season, so it's great to see her on her toes coming to the ball.
Yeah, there's so much these athletes have to do on a daily basis.
Oh my goodness, I know, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing.
And so many of the athletes on the field this afternoon are multi-sport athletes. You and I have talked about this before. A number of lacrosse players on the field, basketball players. Sarah, that's a sport you know well.
I do. Chloe Madzio on this right side, so we're missing Melissa Boucher tonight, unfortunately. And Chloe is a sophomore, and this is her first varsity start, so we're really hoping to see big things from her.
That's great.
So we're under 20 minutes left here in the first half between Darien and Fairfield Ludlowe. No score. Sarah Huntington, Kari Johns, Damian Andrew joining you for this DAF media broadcast on a beautiful fall afternoon here in Darien. Fairfield Ludlowe 9-3-1 coming into the postseason. 7-1. They went on a late season run, Sarah. 7-1. They lost their last game to Norwalk.
Yeah,
but other than that, six in a row. A strong way to finish after 3 straight losses to some really tough teams, including Darien.
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of the strongest, I think, teams in our program's history, and one of the winningest records that we've had. These girls really have transformed this program.
We're going to hopefully hear from Mo Minikis a little later on.
Great.
We interviewed her yesterday at practice.
Great.
Let me ask you, though, how much motivation is it having 2 losses in your last 5 games against quality opponents, Norwalk and Staples, but heading into the postseason, how much motivation?
Yeah, so those losses were tough. I think if you look at the game film, being objective, I think Darien had a lot of ball possession, a lot of opportunities. So always losing when you have more opportunities than the opponent is always tough. But again, we've talked about this. It takes one opportunity to get in there and score those goals, which is what happened both with Staples and Norwalk. And unfortunately for Darien, but great for those 2 opponents. So I think, again, we have talked about this. Any given day, the opponents, it kind of depends on who's has that skill level that day. All of these teams are so skilled. So I think coming off 2 losses, I can't recall the last time in 11 years where we've had 2 losses, and I don't think that's ever happened, to be honest with you. So, I think they're motivated.
Here is Mo Minikis from practice yesterday talking about motivation going into the postseason.
You learn more from losing those tough games than you would if we had won and squeaked away an ugly win. It was a wake-up call. And, in field hockey, it's the little mistakes that make the biggest difference sometimes in a game, and that's what happened in both games. And so we're ready for revenge.
And that was Coach Minikis at practice yesterday, talking about how motivating it is coming off those 2 losses to Norwalk and Staples late in the season, heading into the postseason.
Yeah, I think the girls, obviously I have a lot of confidence. I've coaching these girls for a really long time and know a lot of the players throughout the FCIAC. I think this is a very strong team, but they just have to play together and be together. And as long as you work together on a team, I think that's the glue that holds it all together. So I think if they can figure that out, and that is, the same for both teams.
Absolutely. One of the things that I think is Ludlow's strength is many of them have been playing and been friends with each other since almost birth, and so it's really cool with this 8 senior crew to just have that camaraderie and that loyalty and that friendship with each other. It's really beautiful to watch.
It's great, and then they want to see each other succeed as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is also a huge loss for us, though. We're losing 8 seniors that are huge players for us. So next season is definitely going to be one of rebuilding, I think. To Lauren Baccaria, one of, again, our leading scorers.
Yeah, we experienced it last year. We definitely had to rebuild our entire defensive end, and this year we're losing 12 seniors as well.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's a huge, it's the beauty of high school sports, but it's a huge loss.
It is. Which is why I think the JV programs are so important, because we're, the feeder program, and these girls, really get their experience from that level, and then, have to be ready to step on the big stage.
Well, as I've joked with you in the past, the best thing about freshmen and sophomores is they become sophomores and juniors.
Yes. Yeah, it's good. It's good to see these players grow. Some of them, we've been coaching since youth, so you see them from such a young age, and some of them have grown so much. And again, as multi-sport athletes, you really see them participate on different levels. And it's when they get off to college as well and play their sport in college, it's another great thing to see.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So exciting.
As you can see now, we have our clock in the lower right-hand corner, so we're all set. Under 17 minutes left in the first half between these two FCIAC powers, Darien, Fairfield Ludlowe. No score, quarterfinals of the FCIAC tournament.
Yeah, still really being played between these two 25s. Not much action on either goalies in either circle, which means these teams are really doing a good job. It's a nice ball that's lifted in and tucked back, and unfortunately there was no end. Now that should be a corner because she hit that bound. Yeah, so she hit that ball out of bounds on purpose. So Darien will have an opportunity to have an offensive corner.
It's good to get that out, though.
Great save.
Sometimes we play around with it in the middle of the field, and so it's a good decision by Kyla Redgate, I think.
Absolutely.
Because she didn't really have anybody or anywhere to go with that ball.
Yep. When in doubt, hit it out.
Exactly.
All right, so we have an insert by Kiki Trops, who's passed it to, it's gone twice now. We have 2 pass options. See if anyone can get a stick on that. That's a great save.
2 great saves by Allison Wales.
And she's
Her
in there
save
again.
percentage is like 80%, I think, this season. She's doing a great job at that goal. And, we have an awesome backup goalie, too, with Grace Ski. So it's exciting for next year.
Yeah, Grace is really
tremendous.
Good. Yeah, defense, Ludlowe defense just denied Darien any type of, that should be a corner, hit a foot inside the circle.
Yep.
We talked earlier in the first half how these goalies are going to have to play well, and you certainly saw a couple of great saves there by Allison Wales.
And the Ludlowe defense, we're not letting anything through on that. So it's always difficult because you're up so many numbers on a corner, but if the defense stays low and strong, they have a great opportunity to get this ball out as well.
And it's funny because I think a lot of people, we notice the goal scorers, and our defense is just so tremendous.
Yeah. Okay, that's a slip left and see if any.
Excellent goal.
There's a slip left, I believe, to Katie Elders, and then she just sent that ball over wide to the right post. And since Ludlowe was packing it in so great there, you try to work around those players and send it outside to the post, which is, I believe, how that goal was scored.
But that ability to go left to right, that is huge for field hockey in general, right? When you're staying on one side of the field, that it makes the defense's job easy, and so they just did a beautiful job transferring it to the other side too.
Yeah, and Ludlowe just did a great job of gathering together and kind of regrouping, and I'm sure they probably just said, okay guys, let's reset, let's go, and let's get back out there.
Absolutely. I hope that's what they said.
Kari, you were talking earlier about the seniors on this Darien team.
Yes.
Sarah, I'm looking down the roster for Ludlowe. You have a lot of younger players on this team that have seen valuable minutes this season for the Falcons.
Yeah, Katie Vallis just checked in, I think, and that was Hayes Desmond, number 11, just checked in. So she's a sophomore and gets considerable varsity minutes as a forward position.
Kari, you mentioned Staples playing Wilton this afternoon. Wilton, of course, the defending conference champs.
Yes. Yeah.
Always a tough out in the postseason.
Yeah, well, that was a tough game. The Staples, last year it was quite contentious, I have to say, the FCIAC playoffs. We all like to be friends off the field, but then on the field we can be friendly, but it's always a healthy rivalry. And there was a lot of, I wouldn't say hard feelings at all, but just, it was really a lot of hard work put in last year, I think, by everybody in the FCIAC team. So it was a real disappointment for anybody who didn't take home a win because everyone had just worked so hard.
Sure.
So yeah, this Wilton Staples game I think is going to be a great game. I'd be interested to know where that game is going today. Great opportunity coming down. And
yes!
Goal by Ludlowe.
That's a great goal. And that's
a great goal.
Baccaria loves that reverse sweep.
Yeah. So Ludlowe answers right back with a goal, bringing that ball right down the left side, and then a reverse sweep, and caught, I think, Erica Blaze off the opposite post, and great goal.
Lauren Baccaria, the senior captain, getting it done for Ludlowe, scores the equalizer at 13:37 in the first half.
Yeah, Lauren Baccaria is going to play at Gettysburg next year.
Oh, that's great.
So that's exciting for her. Katie Vallis just checked in at forward position, so there's 2 forwards, I believe.
Okay. So we'll see
as
what
sophomores.
So tied at 1, and ladies, we have ourselves a game.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what we expected, right? I hope.
Yeah, it's again, it was a lot between the 225s, and now we're getting some opportunities to score and on both ends, and that's where the magic happens. So it's going to be
both goals really beautiful,
Yeah, it was a great goal. 3D ball. Let's see if Sydney Schrenker in the corner can get a handle on that, and she's able to control it and then pass this ball right back into. Not sure what that call is, but we'll go with it and now defend it. Oh.
Sydney Schrenker scored the lone goal the last time these two teams played, about 3 minutes into the first half, and then it was a defensive struggle the rest of the way.
Yeah. A lot of times
we were slow to start, I would argue, on that first meeting. We just didn't look like ourselves from what I remember. So I'm glad to see us a little bit more on our toes.
Yeah, looks good. There's Bridget Mahoney trying to get a ball inside the circle, and Carrie has a touch on that, and then that hit a foot, should have been a corner. That went up into a player, but I don't think Bill had a view on that on the side. So taking that ball out, and 2 Darien players kind of all over, but let's see if they can maintain possession. And Ludlowe gets a stick on that, and now getting that out of the defensive end, hopefully. That's good work. That's a great job. And that's a great stop.
Yeah, again, that's Hayes Desmond, the sophomore, coming in. Some of that new next generation legs and skill set is exciting to watch.
There's some great work.
Audrey Sharp, too, a junior, bringing it up the middle.
Yeah, she had some great stick work, some good elimination skills.
Her speed and quickness, too, is such an asset.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming out. That was lifted into a player.
Well, we have a quick moment. I just want to give a shout out to our production crew here for DAF Media. Ben Olson is directing, Ethan Haas on camera 1. On camera 2, down on the sideline, Ted Brennan. And of course, our producer, Brendan Ross. Sarah Huntington, Kari Johns, Damian Andrew. This afternoon from Darien High School.
Sally Cassidy with some great elimination skills again, and Sally will be one of the seniors heading off to college as well. It's a little lift over a stick, which was great, and now Carrie Blatney coming away with the ball and sending it inside to Katie Elders, who's going to try to find Bridget Mahoney in the center of the field.
Sally Cassidy heading to Colby.
Yes, Colby College.
Where she'll play with her sister there?
Yeah, so Georgia had just transferred from UNC. Darien player who went to UNC last year and transferring out and getting to Colby, so it's going to be good to see them again, and probably easier for Lisa and Bill to get to some of those games, I would imagine. There's Molly Hellman again on the right, coming around, see if she can find a player. It's great stick work by Molly to get her on the defender, and she sends it off to Bridget Mahoney, who's using great skill work again. It was a great shot, just wide of the goal cage.
Now, as I continue to learn my field hockey terminology, was that a reverse sweep as well? Or
that was a reverse chip shot. So
that
the
was a
sweep
reverse chip shot. Okay.
Sweep would stay on the ground. The chip would be in
Yep.
the air, and it was called high because it went wide of the goal cage. Had it been on cage, it probably wouldn't have been considered high. But since it was wide, it's considered a pass, and that pass can't be lifted to that height with defenders around. That's a great breakaway down the right side, and she gets the ball over the stick of Karen Glatney, and there is Emily Schwartzman with great stick-to-stick defense and clearing that ball out. But Ludlowe right there.
Defense.
Emily Schwartzman, the junior defender for the Blue Wave.
Ludlowe takes possession here. That's pretty key.
It is. If she can get inside this circle and maybe get something going, and she was able to get inside, and Erica Blaze makes a good save, and Ludlowe will have possession again, attacking offensively inside the 16-yard line on the side in. And she's got to carry that ball 5 yards, which she does, and she has free to go in if we can. But Sydney Schranker gets that ball away. And then it looks like Katie Elders may have had a stick obstruction. So once again, Ludlowe attacking inside the offensive 25. This is a great opportunity for them to see if they can find a hole. That's great defense by Katie Elders, who just recently dislocated her shoulder in the Staples game. So Sydney not getting her feet around that ball, but see, like, she's pretty healthy. And there's Kiki Tropsa, who's just lifted the ball into Kyla, who's able to get this ball out, and back to Kiki. They're having a little bit of a ping pong match here.
Kiki Tropsa, of course, a terrific ice hockey player.
Amazing.
Sally Cassidy plays ice hockey as well,
yes.
correct?
Yes, I have to correct. I made a mistake saying Sydney was an ice hockey player, and that's not true. I always have Sally and Sydney kind of as buddies there. So Sally's the ice hockey player, yes.
The three of us were talking about multi-sport athletes earlier in this broadcast.
You know, ice hockey gives them such quick hand-eye coordination, so you can usually tell the players who play ice hockey as opposed to just field hockey. And that's a great pass by Lily, who just came in the match, Lily Trimmer.
Good defensive play by Kristen Wales, though.
Great to get that ball away. That was fantastic.
We need somebody to come back to the ball for her.
And Lily getting in the circle again. She has Katie Elders on the post, see if she makes a pass, and it wasn't strong enough.
Nice save by Allison Wales. That's a sticky situation.
Yep. And Molly Hellman just lifted that into a defensive player, so if Ludlowe can get this ball out quickly.
Audrey Sharp looks like she was asking for a sub there. She was hurt pretty bad, her knee, in the Norwalk game, so she might be struggling. She never comes out of the game and never asks for a sub. So
you know she's suffering if she does suffer, yeah. So Ludlowe asking for a timeout here. I would imagine they've been attacking quite a bit, and now the ball just got turned over quickly. So I'd imagine the talk would be, you know, guys, this is a 1-1 game here. It's anybody's, and we just got to keep attacking and pushing at it. Same with Darien. As you said, Sarah, you think that, you know, you had a slow start last game. In my viewpoint, watching Darien, I would say that they're not at top speed right now, I would have to say.
And you know your team best. You know when they're on their toes, and for me, just the energy, it felt like they were ready today. Whereas our last meeting, they really were back on their heels. It didn't seem like they were ready to play.
Sarah, I was going to ask you just that. You took the words out of my mouth. I would imagine it's pretty easy for the Falcons to get up for a playoff game in the FCIAC tournament against a team like Darien, which has such a storied program. Obviously, have won 2 out of the last 4 FCIAC championships.
Yeah, well, they used to be a pretty intimidating program, I would argue, too. And sometimes our girls would walk into the stadium and, you know, they would almost let the mental component beat them already. You know, Darien has such a history, and they are such an amazing program. So before they even stepped on the field, they wouldn't think that they could compete. And now, again, like we're just talking about how so many of these girls play with each other in the off season. Now I feel like they feel like they can compete, and they're here. And that's really exciting for the Ludlowe program, and it's exciting for the FCIAC across the board.
You know, when you were walking up here to our broadcast location before the game, you had your sunglasses on. I didn't recognize you, but are you still coaching hoops?
I am not.
You're not? Okay.
I had to give that up, but I'm really grateful. Former player Sarah Kinsley has taken over the program.
Okay.
I'm still very much involved in talking to her, doing X's and O's, but it's just so nice to see, again, like that family affair. You know, she played for me 10, 11 years ago now, and now she's taken over the program, and it's just really exciting.
That's great. I spent a number of years covering FCIAC basketball. Of course, remember your teams as you built the program.
Yeah, we had a great
and
run.
Sarah always animated on the sideline.
Oh, very much so. Yes, very much so. No, yeah, just life, you know, life has a way of working itself out, and so I definitely had to give that up, but excited for the future. Excited for the future.
That's awesome.
It's funny, I used to coach basketball at New Canaan Country School. I played basketball as well. And Bambi Regal, who has one of the final Regals graduating out of our program, she's had 3 girls go through this program and 4 girls go through New Canaan Country School. I coached her eldest daughter at New Canaan Country School, and now her youngest daughter is playing here. So it's just so funny how the the wheels turn and all the similarities and the 6 degrees of separation you kind of find.
And when your former players come back and they become your friends,
Yeah.
it's so bizarre and so wonderful. It's such a blessing, such a gift.
Of course, Hannah Regal, a tennis player in the spring, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
We have several lacrosse players that are pretty dominant in terms of our lacrosse program and play lacrosse all year round. Chloe Madzio, Taylor Harine. So that's kind of their focus, but hoping to get more field hockey out of them too.
Yeah. Now, do you find some of your athletes have to specialize in a certain year? Do they choose? Yeah.
Yeah, we do, and I think especially for basketball too. You know, they're playing AAU, and sometimes the commitment in the off season is too much.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem we run into is now we have, we used to, and I'm sure when you played the same thing, multi-sport athletes, you played 3 sports. There's a ball coming in. That was a great save.
I don't know if now I'm going to like age myself, but it just feels like it was different back then. You know, I remember playing soccer and then going to basketball practice afterwards. So
yes. Yeah, and I always say multi-sport athletes are more, they're well-rounded. They have a better idea, especially basketball players, because basketball you're looking up the whole time. Field hockey, unfortunately, you have to look down, although we try to get them to look up. And so you have a better idea of your, of sense. In the court, you kind of just have a better idea of what's around you and spacing around you, and that's key to any sport.
Absolutely, and I also think it helps you just become stronger. You're using different muscles for different sports.
Yeah.
So in terms of that well-roundedness, injury prevention, all those kinds of things.
True. That ball's going to be coming in for Ludlowe, so they're just outside the 20-yard line.
That's McKaylin Jacobson who just had that ball. Her father coaches at Staples.
Yeah, so we talked last time about Ian having 7 girls now in the family.
Yeah, his youngest daughter is coming up to Ludlowe, and she is a wonderful goalie, so we're excited to see what she can bring.
Of course, the Darien girls soccer team also in action this afternoon up in Ridgefield. We're going to update the score of that game. Blue Wave back in the FCIAC tournament, taking on the Tigers in the quarterfinals. We're under 5 minutes left in the first half of this one between Darien and Fairfield Ludlowe, FCIAC quarterfinals.
It's still a 1-1 match being played again between these two 25s. It's been a great effort on both teams. And both midfields playing really strong. Offenses trying to connect. I think on both teams, we're missing the offensive connection between the players, the forwards and the midfield.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think maybe the forwards need to come back. They need to maybe not hide behind the defense a little bit, at least for this Ludlowe squad.
That's a great play on Sally Cassidy. She really used her body moving well, and now she's just done a nice spin dodge, and she get that ball out to Molly Hellman, who is right midfield, looks like, which is new for her. She's usually playing attack. Now, that ball was lifted, and she took that ball right away. So that's something I think at the collegiate level, at least, that was within the area of where the foul was. So now this is completely stopping the flow of the play. So I think that ball probably should have been allowed to go in. Molly's taking this ball. Now Darien inside the offensive 25, and she's sending the ball back, finding a little bit of space here, giving that ball over to Hannah Regal and getting it back. See if they can, we can just talking about is connecting, but no, Ludlowe defense stops that ball, and then Darien gets it again and finds a foot, so that should be a corner.
Ludlowe needs to be a little bit careful with all these corners.
So Kiki Tropsa, the inserter on this set piece here for the Blue Wave.
Yes, looks like they're trying to coordinate here. Katie Elders to the far left, Bridget Mahoney in the center. We've got Lily Trimmer coming over to the far left. Kiki's going to insert. Reception by Bridget Mahoney. She's going to slip that left to Katie Elders, who's going to lift that ball and see if they can do that. Tried the same play that they scored on last time, and there was no tipper on that side. And
I like the adjustment by Ludlow, though. Kristen
Yes.
really, I guess, learned from your mistakes,
Yep.
right? And that just shows such savvy.
It does. There were two players right there. I don't even think if someone was there, they would have gotten that ball. They were right there to stop that. And that was another great, not only save, but two defensive players who were right there to clean the goalkeeper up immediately. So Ludlow looks really good on the defensive end here. Another save by the keeper, and the ball's still live.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why we're like delaying play there.
Yeah, it looks very slow, doesn't it, to you as well? Yeah, it looks like kind of walking through here.
Somebody just needs to pick it up a little bit.
There's a reverse, which is again wide of the cage. So that would be a reverse sweep, Davey.
Now that is a reverse sweep. You know me well.
Yes. In the beginning, we try not to revert to those because we can consider them to be a bit lazy because you can get your feet around. You can have a lot more power. But there are some players who have just as much power. And that was a great stop.
By Kristen Wales again, yes.
Yeah, really good stop on that.
So Jackie Castani on the side, another one of our seniors. Her mother is coaching the freshman team and used to play for Joe Skarupa at Fairfield University, I believe. So
what a story.
Yeah.
It's a great ball. Emily Schwartzman.
Come on, Kyla, get back there.
So Emily just got her feet around and was able to find a foot. And yes, that was called as a corner. That was Emily Schwartzman, who just did a great job. Couldn't get that ball off a reverse, so she brought her onto her front stick and was able to find a foot on the defender. The Ludlow defense has been nothing short of amazing here getting these balls out. So let's see what happens here and who makes the adjustment to either get this ball in or out. Again, it's a missed reception, but sometimes broken corners are the best plays. I don't know about you, but we practice broken corners just in case it happens because it's meant to happen. And another corner call.
Yeah, and I think they can be so effective because a lot of times, like we noticed earlier, the play will stop when something doesn't quite go according to plan. And when another team stops, that's your opportunity to score.
Sure. Another corner for Darien.
About 30 seconds left in the first half.
Wow. It's a great pass and shot coming on, and if someone can touch it, yes.
And a great play by the Blue Wave. Kendall Wazinski, the shot, and I believe it was Tropsa that deflected it in.
It did look like it. Now, you saw that Darien made an adjustment there. Ludlow had been so good at keeping all their sticks on the ground and not allowing the ball on the left slip.
Absolutely.
So then Darien tried a right slip, which was successful.
Absolutely. And, they've been given a lot of opportunities to score. Those corners are a huge opportunity to score, and they took advantage of that opportunity.
Now, Ludlow has, what are we on time?
23 seconds left in the first half, 2-1 Darien.
Enough time to answer back, so let's see what they do with this possession. Getting the ball and falling, but getting right back up and getting that ball.
Alyssa is one of those players who really demonstrates resilience.
Yeah, I could see that.
So not only in that play there, but she's just a workhorse, that kid.
Yeah, you could see Sydney Schrenker just took a pretty bad ball up into her body.
And that will do it for the first half as Darien scores a late goal off a corner opportunity to take a 2-1 lead on Fairfield Ludlowe in the FCIAC quarterfinals. As I mentioned earlier, Darien, the field hockey team, not the only Darien team in the postseason this afternoon. The Darien girls soccer team playing Ridgefield today in the quarters of the FCIAC tournament. DAF Media's Brandon Ross had the chance to talk with Blue Wave head coach Lee Parsons yesterday at practice.
Thanks, Damien. Lee, you're at Ridgefield tomorrow night. Played Ridgefield already. You lost. Came out with the loss. Hard-fought loss. What are your expectations going into tomorrow night? What are you planning for the team?
To be honest, I guess redemption. We want to kind of come back and prove. It was a well, we've only had 2 losses this year, and that was one of them. So it's kind of something we want to correct in our season, so to speak. You know, in that game, I think it was 2-0. We ended up losing, but we did have opportunities throughout the game, and you know, it could have been slightly different. The score line, it's one of those you leave the game kind of maybe the score doesn't totally reflect the way we played. So we definitely want to go back into the season, or finish the season off rather. Now it's an important part of the tournament with like following up, kind of finishing something off that we kind of didn't take care of in the regular season.
You've had an 11-2-3 season, like you said. Only losses coming from Brian McMahon and Ridgefield. Your team had been led by a great group of seniors, Fiore, Ramsey, D'Annunzio. What can you say that group has helped the team?
I mean, experience, first of all. You know, they're quality soccer players, quality athletes, but they're really good leaders. All have been playing varsity for 3 or 4 years, you know, so they've got a wealth of experience. The younger girls are learning a lot from them. But, you know, those 3 names you mentioned, it's, you know, one of the best goalies in the state, one of the best defenders in the state, and one of the best strikers in the state. So they're very good from a soccer sense to have on your team. But the whole senior class this year has been just the camaraderie, and the way the team got along is just all you could ask for, really. So it's been a good sense of team.
As you bring up experience, you have a great number of juniors on the class. Bravo, Eileen Dolan. How will that help you this season, playoffs, as well as next season?
You know, I mean, in a great way, really. You know, again, those juniors are learning from these experienced seniors. It's also good to kind of look out onto a field and say, at times, you know, you have 7 or 8 girls coming back next year, and seeing some of the younger girls that we have also that will get that year better. You know, it's exciting to look ahead to next year as well. You know, over the last few years, we've competed with the top teams, so it's good to keep going on that and progress in that manner. And this group of seniors are a big part of that. So it's good. It's huge to have this group.
That's all the time we have. Thanks, Coach. We'll toss it back to Damien.
We are at the half here at Stadium Field, quarterfinals of the FCIAC Field Hockey Tournament. Darien with a 2-1 lead. You just heard from DAF Media's Brendan Ross. Brendan joins us now here at the half. And Brendan, the Blue Wave Field Hockey team, not the only Darien team in action this afternoon. Of course, we mentioned the girls soccer team.
You're right, Damien.
And of course, the girls volleyball team is playing their regular season finale senior day in the Darien High School gym.
Correct. The Darien girls volleyball, as you said, is playing Norwalk today. It's their senior day. They are currently up 2-0. They won their first set 25-19. Their seniors are led by Addie Schoen, Carolyn Marksoff, Faith Helms, and Kelly Revelo. It's a great team. They're looking to make CIAC and FCIACs and add to that historic win streak history that Lower Russo has. They always do well, have a good season, boys, girls. So it's just, let's see what they can do in their playoff push, or late playoff push.
Coach LaRusso has been at it for a long time, since the mid-1980s, has done a great job, as you mentioned, with the girls program for many years. You can just take a look at all the championship banners in that gym.
Plus her award she just won over the summer, not to cut you off.
Yep. No, she's been a National Coach of the Year multiple times, and to your point, she's done a great job with the boys program in recent years as well.
Exactly. As you said, the girls soccer team is traveling up to Ridgefield today to face against Ridgefield in the FCIAC quarterfinals. We talked about, I talked with Lee Parsons yesterday, as Damien talked about. And they are currently at half. The score is 0-0. We'll bring you some more score updates to that, as well as the volleyball game later in today's stream.
Yeah, no, and Brendan, while we have you here, just want to thank you for doing a tremendous job as we get this DAF Media Network off the job. Brendan has been all over the place doing all sorts of tasks for us, from producing to directing, now doing a little on-air work, and nice job with that Lee Parsons interview.
Thank you.
We will, as you mentioned, continue to update that score as long as we are live streaming here from Stadium Field. But Brendan Ross, thank you so much. We'll be hearing a lot. We'll be hearing a lot more from you throughout this academic school year for DAF Media. We'll be right back with second half action here on the DAF Media Network. We are back for the second half of this game between Darien and Fairfield Ludlowe. 2-1 Blue Wave as we are underway here in the second half.
It's a good ball by Bridget Mahoney, but just missed by Kendall Wazinski. We have a 2-1 game with Darien leading, but it's been a great game between both teams, and really anybody's game here again. So it's just see who comes out. It's a great stop by Sydney Schrenker. Not sure what that call was, but he was out of bounds.
This is going to be really key for Ludlow.
Yeah, who comes out?
Yeah, who comes out, but also sending the ball so that we don't keep playing between these 25-yard lines. You know, we really need to get it up to our forwards, and Grace Murphy has such a strong stick in that back to drive it up. It's going to be key.
Yeah, so we've talked about it a few of these before, is that this is a new surface. And so sometimes the ball just doesn't want to move, which is tough. No, that was just missed. It was a good ball, but needs to run onto that. So that ball's just being transferred all the way over to the left side of the field. Switch a field sometimes if you can get as we talked about earlier, the defense is all on one side if you can change fields.
No, that's a smart play by Darien.
And Ludlow setting up and taking this ball and trying this, I think the same thing, sending it across the field and seeing if they can find some space. And it was a great reception. See if Kendall Wazinski gets this ball ahead. And now she's got a one-on-one with the keeper. So the ball just got away from her. See if she can convert. And the keeper goes down, a great save. And somebody's right there to rebound that ball in that corner because it hits a field player. But that was an amazing save.
Allison Wales.
Allison Wales. It always can be a tentative thing. You're one-on-one with the keeper. You don't quite know what to do. Does she come out? And fortunately, I think for Allison, that ball Kendall's feet got a little bit faster than the ball were running.
Yeah, well, part of that is that we just kind of jabbed at the ball. Kristen Wales just jabbed instead of breaking down her steps. That's something that they talked about in halftime, is breaking down our steps, especially on these corners. Marking up and breaking down the steps are going to be key here for Ludlow.
Yeah, and then her sister came to the rescue, so good thing. Has her back.
Has her back. Has her back. They're going to miss that in college, I'm sure.
We have an insert from the other side, and receiver here, Bridget Mahoney, and that
Nice.
is broken up. That was a
That
great
is a great play by
Yep.
Allie Krause,
Yep.
Alyssa Krause.
It's great. And now the intended receiver has gotten that ball back. And if she can stay on that, Shea Vanderbook. But it looks like Grace is in the corner doing some good work. Sorry, that was Lauren.
Lauren Bakari. That was a hard situation for her, too. I don't think she was kind of stuck in trying to get on that reverse stick.
Yeah, yep. It's great. Bridget Mahoney uses her body so smart. And Bridget is one of the players that plays with Lauren and Grace and Kaylin. So these girls know each other very well. It's a great quick start by Grace Murphy. And there's Emily Short.
We want Grace Murphy to take it up the field. I think Ludlow wants that. She's got such great stick skills. And again, if we can break it up so that we can get it past that 25-yard line, Ludlow could be really successful in the circle.
Yeah, Grace is such a good player. She's got great stick skills, strong hit, great disposition, obviously, very coachable. She's just a great player. And that ball just hit, unfortunately, a foot. And so Ludlow attacking now.
That's Kyla Redgate. Out to Chloe Madzio, again, our sophomore starter, because we're missing Melissa Bouchard this afternoon.
So I think it looks like the sun may be a factor here for both teams, it looks like, but more on, I think, the defensive end for Darien, because if you bring the ball down the right side, look like the keeper's looking right into the sun. So let's see if maybe Ludlow can capitalize on that. Or
It's absolutely true. They were just talking about that. Grace Murphy was just sharing with me that it was really difficult to see on the field. So a little bit of an advantage, I think, there. Need to be on that post right there with that stick down.
So that was a ball that was just sent right across the circle and, just missed. It just went right across. Had there been an intended receiver there, maybe
McKaylin or Jackie just need to be there for that.
It's a good ball by Hannah Regal and McKaylin Jacobson on this ball right here. And
need to communicate a little bit there.
Yeah, it looks like they're crowding just a little bit. I think everyone's, the stakes are high here. So everyone's, I think for both teams, it looks like they're just, a little playing out of their zone. It looks like both of them just need to kind of come into their own. And
a little frenzied.
Yeah, just a little. It's Bridget Mahoney with the ball, and that's coming back from the backside. Now that was
Lauren Beccaria there.
Yeah,
that's one of her favorite moves.
Yeah, she did 2 times actually used the wrong side of the stick. I'm surprised the umpire didn't see that, but it's hard when they're using that backhand to know which, what side. But you can usually tell the way the ball comes off the stick if they've used the wrong side, the rounded side. There's McKaylin Jacobson sending that ball right in, and Hannah Regal picking it up though and sending the ball smart, being poised, sending the ball to Sally Cassidy.
Stick down.
Yep. And that's a great poke in there by Lauren again. But Katie Elder is coming away with it, kicking the ball, and now she should get a great start right ahead. And McKaylin Jacobson taking that ball in again.
McKaylin Jacobson was sick for a couple of games, and to see her healthy is she's just such a different player. I mean, many people are, but she was really sluggish kind of midway through the season, and now healthy and rested. She's just a tremendous player as a sophomore.
She really is, and she's the kind of player that gives her all and doesn't quit. And so I can see her playing sick and not wanting to give up in there. Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's McKaylin again, who gets a ball into the circle for Ludlow, stopped by the Darien defense and hit out of bounds, but not on purpose. So I wouldn't. It should be just a ball coming in the 25. Yeah, it's a long hit, coming back to 25. Right, so Ludlow attacking hard, and Darien having trouble getting this out, so Ludlow's really at it. It's a ball lifted out.
By Alyssa Krause. She's taking it into the circle, looking to pass it off. Alyssa, I think, leads the team in assists for the season.
Now that's one of those big balls you were talking about, if somebody could get it out.
We need a cherry picker back there.
And now another big ball. So it looks like we're getting the hits on now. Just if we can...
We just want to aim for those. You don't want to hit and hope, right? You want to make sure somebody's there to receive it.
Yeah, the intended receiver is always key to find someone. It's a great stop by, it looks like Emily Schwartzman and
Kiki Tropsa on the far side of the field.
Yep, getting that ball and did a great job getting an instruction call from the player.
23 minutes left in the second half in the game. 2-1 Darien.
Gotta say, this is a really good game. Both teams are giving everything they have here.
And they're playing really nice field hockey.
Yes.
It's really enjoyable to
Yes.
watch. The skill set out on the field today is really beautiful, actually.
Yeah, it's one of the pleasures of, playing teams that are both skilled and I want to say don't have to use physicality to have a skilled game, and unfortunately we've seen a little bit of that in the FCIAC. So as you said, both teams really skilled, really giving everything they have, and it's a good game to see. Yeah, Grace just made some great moves. Now she's taking that ball on a diagonal, which is really hard defensively to break up. So she's being so smart right now.
This is just such a demonstration of Grace Murphy's skill set.
Yep, and then there goes a great hit, but stopped by Lindsay Wallach, looks like, and she actually finding a teammate and see if they can connect again.
We have the pleasure of being joined on this DAF media broadcast by the JV coaches from both Darien and Fairfield Ludlowe. Darien's JV coach Kari Johns, and of course Sarah Huntington, the Ludlow JV field hockey coach. And can't thank you both enough for hopping on this broadcast. Tremendous commentary as we are approaching the 21-minute mark of the second half.
Oh,
that's a great defensive play.
Yeah,
24.
I'm not sure what George called because I think the other Ludlow player came in with her stick, and sometimes we just don't know. We just go with the flow.
Exactly.
That's a great job. Now again,
we often say that to the players at any sport that I coach or play. The refs are going to call what they're going to call. It's about keeping your head up and keep playing the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you can never change.
Absolutely not.
Here's Molly Hellman, who may have an opportunity to get this ball down, but there's a lot of blue on that sideline. All right, so here's Shay Vanderbroek finding Bridget Mahoney in the center of the field, and Bridget sends a great ball ahead, but I think that ball probably needs to be flatter. But
Maddie Casagola, really good defense there.
Being patient, trying to find that pass just wasn't strong enough for the intended receiver. But that's a great stick by Shay Vanderbroek. And
Hayes Desmond here with the defensive play, bringing it up the sideline. Hayes, again, a sophomore, showing some key varsity minutes for this Ludlow program.
She's did such a good job of using her body and putting her body in the way of the, you generally want to try to carry the ball and put your body in the way of the opponent, which is what she did so effectively and was able to get that ball.
Watching her grow this season has really been amazing. At the beginning of the season, she played really chaotically, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And now just to see her poise on the field, she's really grown this year.
Well, it's great, and she's just a sophomore,
Yeah.
so she's got a lot of time to grow, which...
a lot of promise.
Yeah, so here's Michaela Jacobson taking the ball again, and it's a great aerial ball. Sally Cassie's going to pick this ball up in the back, see if she can get around Ludlow, and she does a great job doing that, but doesn't find a receiver. And so now Ludlow again on the attack with McKaylin taking the ball in again.
McKaylin's field sense is unparalleled for this Ludlow squad.
Yeah, she's so smart with the ball.
Just got to work on her recovery.
Oh, that's great by Sydney Schranker. Yeah, maybe being sick, it's got a little bit in there too. So sometimes those lungs don't come back so quick. Shay Vanderbroek just finding Bridget Mahoney in the center of the field, sending the ball wide left. Now here I would imagine the Suns, it's a good quick start on Ludlow, taking this ball right away.
But I noticed the rest of the field players are kind of just standing around. When we get those quick starts, we all need to be on our toes there.
Field hockey is a kind of sport, especially at the high school level, where you try to get the players to understand that you move as a unit. And even if the ball's back here at the right attack, the left attack is still making some moves. Even though they're completely out of the player, maybe 2 passes away, you still need to move along. So the off-ball movement is so key here.
Kari, this is a little reminiscent of the Staples game in the sense of how the sun is setting right now. How big of a factor is that for Erica Blaze here in the second half?
I think I think now Erica's covered. It was a little dicey, I think, in the beginning because you generally want to try to attack on the right side, and she was looking right into that.
I'm sorry. Allison Wales, right?
Yes,
Allison Wales. I apologize. I'm looking at Allison Wales and calling her Erica Blaze.
Yeah, I was going to say Erica's in the clear now. I
Yep,
think.
she's in the clear. She's in the shade, completely shaded, as you can see on
If
our
she can't see in there, we're in trouble.
live stream. Yeah, thank you for correcting me.
All right, here we go. Darien having an attacking opportunity again. Bridget Mahoney taking this ball inside the 25. Now that ball has got to be carried 5 yards or passed to a teammate before they enter into the circle. And actually, I'm sorry, that was past to Bridget Mahoney who takes the ball out. And that's good ball movement by Darien. Shea Vanderbrook has a clear line to go if she can find a space. But I see a Ludlowe player just got over the stick. But they're there on defense again. There's Molly Hellman getting a corner, I thought.
When in doubt, hit it out.
That's right. All right, so the umpire's hands up, nothing. I see nothing there, and gonna need to come
Audrey
to that
Sharp
ball.
coming in.
She did a great job. So she came to that ball first, which is great. And there's some great stick work again with Audrey Sharp. Didn't make the intended receiver again. So this is what we were talking about earlier. Is they're doing great work, but not connecting with their teammates, which is why I think Darien is asking for a timeout here. You know, both teams playing so strong, but really not connecting as well as I think either one can as a team.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's almost like watching the same team, though, on both
Yes.
sides. So it's exciting in terms of the same troubles. This timeout is going to be key, I think, for both teams, too.
Yeah, I agree.
Timeout here. Darien up 2-1. Darien coming into this game, this postseason, 12-2. Their only 2 losses late in the season to Norwalk and Staples, of course, as we mentioned in the first half. Darien has won 2 of the last 4 FCIAC championships. Wilton, the defending champs, and there was a time from 07 to 09 where Darien ran off 3 straight FCIAC championships.
Yeah, that was my daughter had played on the team during that time, and it was a great run, both FCIAC titles and state titles, many years in a row.
And your other daughter is running around here. I've seen her a couple times.
Yeah, she's actually with Michaelin's sister, Kylie, down here. They play club together, and they're, as you can see, wearing the same jerseys. One's from Ludlowe, one's from Darien, the same color blue. And they could care less they're from opposing teams. They're best of buds hanging down there, and just enjoying the game.
Now, what's going on with you competitively? I know you've played field hockey at the highest level for the.
Yeah, so I'm on the USA Women's Masters team, and I have played in Holland in 2014, and I was fortunate to make the team again and play in Australia in 2016, and I'm fortunate again to be on the squad that's going to Teresa, Spain in 2018. So
how good is that to be able to play the sport you love and travel around the world?
Let me tell you, it is amazing to see field hockey in other parts of the world. I mentioned this in some of the other broadcasts. There's nothing like it if you love field hockey the way I do, to see it played in its intended kind of phase. And we unfortunately don't get that here in the United States, so to see it there, I love it. Some people can take it.
Well, it's even though youth soccer has grown in this country exponentially through the years, it's a lot like soccer in the sense that it's an art form in other parts of the world.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting to Teresa, Spain in July and August of 2018. So that'll be super hot.
Super hot.
but a lot of fun.
Grace Murphy taking it up the field again.
And she's so smart carrying that ball on a right diagonal. You notice that's so hard for the defender because it's on their non-stick side, and it's very hard to stay shoulder to shoulder and line up. There's Bridget Mahoney who broke up that play. She's got some great speed, and she sends this ball over to Kendall Wazinski, who gets a stick on it, and Sydney Shrinker coming in and see if she can get past the keeper, but no, makes a great save, and then the defense cleans the That was really good work by Ludlowe defense to not allow Darien that opportunity.
Ludlowe defense, again, needing to really stay low and on their toes. Sometimes they are getting caught reaching for the ball, and I think that's where they're getting beat.
But that was just an amazing save. And then the defense, we always said the goalie has to, he actually did call that. The goalie's got to make that first save, and then the defense is responsible for cleaning them up after that. And the defense is doing a phenomenal job of not allowing that second phase or that second wave of attack to come on in.
Allison Wales coming off just a terrific save
Yeah,
for Ludlow.
that was great. So great ball. Darien attacking again, and let's see if they can get anything going. But no, broken up again. Bridget Mahoney gets this ball back and hits a great ball in. And no one's. Oh,
Talk about connecting. That really was a great pass to connect. But Ludlow defense, again, the foundation of our program, right there to stop it.
You know, you mentioned the Ludlow defense. Coach Skarupa, he's been there 3 seasons now. What has he brought besides that defensive mindset to this Ludlow program?
You know, he brings so much in terms of just being a mentor figure. Karen Seltenreich talked about it in an interview, just being that father figure almost. He's just so good at talking to the girls and really setting forth that precedence, being there for them. A lot of the intangibles, as well as the field hockey knowledge. That's a great shot by Lauren Beccaria.
so Ludlow just brought that ball all the way down from the Darien offensive end, all the way down with some beautiful inside-outside give-and-go passes. It's the way you move the ball in field hockey, and that was just a great demonstration of connecting with their teammates, and then had a shot on goal. They're really turning it on here. It's Katie Elders, who looked pretty successful getting that ball away, but it was called, and that ball should be coming out. There's Katie Elders again finding her teammate. If Kendall can get a stick on this, but no, the defender.
Nice, Kristen Wales.
Yeah,
nice
great.
job.
It's a sister-sister connection, I think, back here. The Wales girls. Here goes Bridget Mahoney now changing fields again.
And then there's Chloe Madzio passing it off to Alyssa Kraus, just needing to work a little bit on the spacing there on that right side to Kyla Redgate.
Molly Hellman getting in there. These teams are really battling it out. It's good hockey on both sides. Molly Hellman getting the ball again and finding a foot right there, so we should be able to go ahead on Darien side. They're attacking inside the offensive 50, but once again, you know, neither team able to penetrate getting circle entry as much as I'm sure they would like. Sending his ball back, sometimes finding the space and seeing if there's attacking opportunity, but that is broken up in a great play. And that's a very quick start. Was it Hayes Desmond?
Oh, that's Lauren Beccaria
Lauren
there.
Beccaria.
Lauren Beccaria passes it off to Alyssa.
Great give and
They
go.
have great teamwork there, looking to shoot it on goal.
Was
Ball's coming out.
Really good give and go, and unfortunately that ball just went wide of the cage. Darien defense looks like they're getting caught a little bit off guard, not reacting the same way that the Ludlow defense is reacting when they have that circle entry right here. It's Lindsay Wallach trying to get this ball out, and she's able to, but the forward's not coming back. And
Maddie Cagnasola.
It's a great step up. And there's Lauren again taking the ball in around the right side, and again support right there.
Audrey Sharp sends it in. If we can just connect there.
There's Erica Blaze with a great save.
So the winner of this game gets Ridgefield or Greenwich. Greenwich, the top seed coming into the FCIAC playoffs.
Both would be exciting games, regardless of who wins this one and regardless of who wins that. You know, again, the FCIAC, the talent pool is pretty equally distributed. So,
Well, the FCIAC in field hockey, certainly the dominant conference, I would say, in the entire state.
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely. Sometimes we get to the states and it's, and not putting any of the other conferences down, but the competition level at the state level just tends to be not as competitive as the FCIAC, and so in many ways the FCIAC playoffs and finals are more competitive than the state finals.
I'll say it for you. Some people within the FCIAC think that that's a state championship over a true state championship.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, look at last season. Darien Staples co-champs in Class L.
Yes. Yeah. There's a great ball coming out and hit a foot, and Lindsay should be able to take that ball, or Carrie should take that ball straight away again, and she does, and she finds Captain Kendall Wazinski, who couldn't get a handle on that ball. And so now Ludlow coming in, attacking again in the offensive 50.
Kristen Wales with the ball, trying to get it to Lauren Beccaria, our leading scorer.
It's a great step up by Bridget Mahoney, and there seemed to umpire thinks it's foul. No, that should be going in because that was into 2 players. I think both teams just need to settle down a little bit here and connect a little bit better.
I think Ludlow is really trying to play with a sense of urgency, but
yes,
but you want to have
poise.
Poise and that sense of urgency.
Yeah, yep.
And that's a really difficult balance for high school players to find, you know?
It is. You know, they don't understand. I think the time concept is hard. You know, we still have 10 minutes is a lot of time in a game. And, you know, not everything needs to be rushed. And a lot of times when you rush, you tend to. That's a great ball by Bridget Mahoney, but
Good
wow.
stop by Grace Murphy there.
That was phenomenal save by Grace Murphy. Stop by Grace Murphy. Unfortunately, hit her foot coming out, but it was an amazing save. Now you see Ludlowe really stepping up on Darien's trying to bring this ball back, but Ludlowe is right on top of that ball. The speed looks like it's picked up this half, I think.
Well, Lauren Beccaria this whole game has been playing with such fire out there. Really, she wants it.
And you talk about her, you know, taking a leadership role, and then the team kind of follows that lead. That would be, I think the defender kind of came from behind, so that would be an automatic corner. So it was a good call by our umpire, George.
This is certainly what Ludlowe does not want. But again, they made the adjustments at halftime, so
They did.
I feel like the defense is going to be a stronghold here.
So let's see what happens. Now a go-ahead goal for Darien could be fairly dangerous for Ludlowe, and a breakaway for Ludlowe could be fairly dangerous for Darien. So let's see what happens. And we have an inserter. Bridget Mahoney's receiving the ball, and she's sending that ball left, and there's a wide open shot. If anyone can get a stick on that, but that's a great save again.
Allison Wales really playing tremendous this afternoon.
So it was a great save. There's a third party on the defense, as we talked about them being a little bit crowded, and sometimes you just can't get out of the way of the opposing defender running.
And that's like sometimes with the foot, you know, your steps, you just can't quite get your feet around. So some of those things can't be helped. Just how you recover from them.
Yeah. Well, another corner is better than a goal, yeah? So we're slipping this
Absolutely.
left. This is how they scored the first. Let's see if anyone, unfortunately, there's
Little
a touch.
wide.
Yep, little wide. And ball's coming out for Ludlowe. So Ludlowe prevails in the defensive end here for these two corners. Darien not able to convert. It's a great 3D ball, and that ball is into space, so no call there. But no possession either. And now Darien maintaining possession with the ball. I think it's a great stick in there. Lauren's just all over the field.
She really is this afternoon. You can just see it in her body language how much she wants this game.
Yeah. It's always tough for the seniors because, you know, sometimes this is their, you know, swan song and they don't get another opportunity. So.
And this is just a really special season for Ludlowe field hockey. Winningest program, I think, in our program's history, or our winningest, you know, season.
Yeah.
To make it to second round of FCIAC, like we were saying, FCIAC has such competitive field hockey. None of us want to see each other in states because we end up knocking each other out.
Yeah.
You know, so I think a win here tonight for Ludlowe is going to be so pivotal and so huge.
Yeah, well, that was just some great ball movement from Darien. That ball went around. It was amazing. But Karen and I, so funny, Karen, when you had the win against Wilton.
Yeah.
Wow, we were just all so ecstatic for the program and what that meant. And Karen just said, you know what, the best thing is that this is such a great group of girls that play together as a team and they support each other. And I think that was probably, you know, even a bigger win, not just the win in the game, but to know that this team is more of like a family and they're, you know, lifting each other up.
Yeah, that Wilton win was monumental for our program. But you're absolutely right. This is Katie Vallis here on the breakaway, looking for Jackie Castani.
Really bad defensive breakdown by Darien. Hannah Rigo went to pass that ball back to Sal Cassidy.
We have a corner now for Ludlowe. This is a huge opportunity for Ludlowe.
I'm not sure why that was called a corner. I was not.
Yeah, I didn't really catch it either.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that was just a terrible defensive breakdown on Darien, and hopefully, I'm going to say it doesn't convert to a goal because that was a terrible defensive breakdown. But let's see what Ludlowe can make of it. They're hungry, they want it, and they have been attacking this whole time. So let's see what happens. So great inserts. McKaylin sends that back.
Good hustle by Grace Murphy to keep it in play.
Great defense by Sally Cassidy.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I would say that should have been coming out because it was lifted up into her, but he called a corner for some reason. So
that was really good defense by Darien. Really excellent blocking.
Yeah, so there's under 6 minutes remaining, and Ludlowe here possibly scoring the tying goal. So this is a great opportunity for them. Again, inserting. The great insert, intended receiver. I think McKinley waiting a little bit, and a great save by Erica Blaze, and coming out.
Way to keep it here. McKinley Jacobson
Yeah.
with the ball. Another corner.
Yeah, McKinley did a great job getting her body around.
Yeah, she just knows the game. I mean, it probably helps to have a father who's a coach, but she knows the game so well.
Yeah, it's a benefit. Yeah, my 12-year-old I think knows more rules than some of them.
Probably from the womb.
Yeah, here's a third opportunity. Let's see if they can convert, and that's a great ball. Erica Blaze out
Goalie's
pretty
really far out.
She
so
really is.
Either need to take advantage.
Yep.
Oh, so close, but we're keeping it live.
Yep, still attacking. That ball being sent across. Darien defense staying low. Erica Blaze staying low. Ball still in, still attacking.
Really
nothing
exciting
being called.
movement
And
here.
wow, that's a foot.
But
Yep. They didn't see it. We saw it.
we've got a better angle, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not quite like football where you have umpires and
everywhere. It's a great defensive play and great offensive play, getting inside the circle again.
Really proud of both teams here, just keeping at it and keeping with it. The excitement, you can feel it.
That was very exciting. There is 4 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in this game, and it has just been so exciting. Both teams playing so strong and just working so hard. Again, another defensive, I would call that a mistake. If we were in baseball, I would call that an error. number 10, player number 10. They were sending this ball into the inside, trying to change direction. Bridget Mahoney getting that ball and sending that ball over to Katie Elders, who sent a great ball down, but cannot be hunted down by Sydney Schrenker.
Almost diving out of bounds for that one, showing the effort by Darien.
This ball has just gone from one end to the other, and I wouldn't put it besides either one of these teams to get this ball right down again and attack again from Ludlowe. But Kiki Tropsy getting great ball and sending this ball over to Katie Elders, who has a great shot on goal and goes wide of the cage, but off of either defensive player or goalie, so the umpire calling a long hit. Looks like somebody's hurt.
And this, of course, is what you don't like to see
Katie
after a great, entertaining game between these two FCIAC rivals. 3:19 left. Katie Elders.
You know, she just was injured in the Staples game with a dislocated shoulder, and now she does have ankle issues. Looks like it may be an ankle that she's down with. So we have a treater, Katie, treating patient Katie. This has really been a great game to watch. Both teams giving effort this second half, I would say more so than the first half.
Absolutely. The energy, even though we were talking about the frenetic pace and a little bit frenzied, you know, they're both really showing desire and wanting to move on to the second round of the FCIAC tournament. It's just so huge for the Ludlowe program. I was thinking about, you know, how competitive they have become. Traditionally, they didn't think that they could compete with the Dariens or the Greenwiches or the New Canaans, right? And now they are just up there competing and challenging. So it's very exciting for Ludlowe. Looks like she's doing okay walking off the field.
And some of the losses just within a point or two.
Absolutely. Like no blowouts. You know, they are right there. And that belief to be able to compete with the helm of field hockey, Darien, is really powerful for Ludlowe.
You know, and that's sometimes all it takes is just, you know, the belief that you can do it. As we talked about, you can teach skill, but that effort level, you know, you can't teach that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, if you have that heart and you have that desire, that goes a very long way.
And I think this team really believes it. Like they believe that they are meant to be here, and that is an exciting transfer of thought from the last 4 years.
I would say that I believe they believe it. So Bridget Mahoney getting this ball, and she's got to carry this ball 5 yards, and she has, and she's gotten over the stick. Some great stick work by Bridget Mahoney. And she's kicking it on the right side and gets stopped right there by defense, which was a great move. Is that Grace again?
Yep, Grace Murphy.
Yeah.
Bridget Mahoney and Grace Murphy are
Going at it. And they're teammates on the off season, oddly enough.
It's so exciting. I
Yeah.
remember, my best friend and I in basketball, like competing against each other. That's a healthy rivalry.
It really is. And I'm sure they'll give each other big hugs off the field when this game is over,
Absolutely.
no matter what happens.
This is all you would want from a 3 versus 6 in the FCIAC quarterfinals. Darien up a goal on Fairfield Ludlowe in what has been a very well played game by both of these teams.
Yeah, and what you can see now looking out on the field is that Darien is playing a defensive game, being ahead 1. So we literally have 6 players behind the line of scrimmage. You have 4v10 within this offensive end, and 6 players playing back, playing defensively. It's a strategy, instead of trying to score one more goal in the 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining, just protect the lead.
I think that's obviously a wonderful coaching strategy.
Yeah, and then, McKaylen Jacobson just had a great stick right there, but unfortunately I think batted that ball down. There's a ball that Kendall Wazinski set into a foot, so now Darien will get possession again at inside the offensive 5-yard line. There's under 2 minutes remaining in this game. A smart play would be to waste time and maybe even pull that ball down into the corner and just continue to waste time. There's another foul. It should be coming in. Unfortunately, that wasn't called. Shea Branderbrook.
Yeah, Ludlow needs to play with a sense of urgency here. Not panic, just urgency.
Yeah, so that...
They still need to take their time on plays like that.
Yes.
Be present in the moment, but get it up the field and score.
Well, here they're going to have an opportunity coming down. 1:20 left, and, we've seen them
Grace
get down
Murphy,
the field.
Here she comes with the ball. She should just take it up the field.
Yeah, and she's stopped by Bridget Mahoney, and it hit a foot. Now, a smart thing for Bridget to do would maybe just waste a little bit of time off this clock here. And she's going to find her teammate, Kendall Wazinski, out to the right wing, and Kendall's going to try to eliminate a player, which she does with McKaylen fairly successfully, and finds her foot. Kendall's going to go down again, and it's a great ball, and Molly Hellman's right there. And then there's another attack by Sydney Shrinker. Molly's there again.
Beautiful pass.
Okay, we're under a minute. We have 45 seconds. If Ludlow can get this ball down again and not panic, 45 seconds, enough time for circle entry.
Lauren Beccaria is calling for it. We want to give it to her. She's so good in that one-on-one situation. Alyssa Kraus, one of our fastest players.
Yeah, and they're having another ball coming down in. 26
Alyssa hustling
seconds.
to get the ball. She is so speedy.
Great ball.
Beautiful ball. Let's go, Katie Vallis.
Great, and here they go. Offensive opportunity.
Katie Vallis just needs to take it in.
Oh, it's a lift up.
Nice, Lauren Beccaria. Oh, so close.
Hannah Regal with a good defensive play and hitting that ball out of bounds with...
That's exactly who you want the ball in their hands, is Lauren Beccaria at the end of the game. Couldn't quite finish, but excellent game all around.
Absolutely. What an exciting finish as Darien holds on 2-1. The scoring went like this. Katie Elders with a first half goal at the 15-minute mark of the first half. Lauren Beccaria of Fairfield Ludlowe scores the equalizer later in the first half. And then Kiki Tropsa with the second half goal ends up being the game-winning goal as Darien goes on to win 2-1. A big win for the Blue Wave, the 3 seed, as they move on to next week's semifinals. Sarah, what a great effort by Fairfield Ludlowe in this game. They certainly, as you mentioned throughout, they came to play. They were up and ready to go to face the Blue Wave.
Yeah, so proud of them. That this program, these girls, we talk about how skilled they are as field hockey players, but even great human beings. So just so proud of them all around. They played tremendous today.
Kari Johns, more field hockey for the Blue Wave as they move on to the semifinals, trying to win their 3rd conference championship in 5 seasons. Your impressions of this afternoon's game?
I want to say it was a great match. In the beginning, I would say that I think both teams were a little just kind of offset, and then the second half you could see they picked up a little bit. I still would say that Darien didn't have the speed that I'm used to seeing them play with. Very tentative. I want to say Ludlow did a fantastic job. What a great game, right down to the last second. But I think in order for Darien to move on, whether Ridgefield or Greenwich, especially if it's Greenwich, there's going to have to be a tremendous amount of adjustments for this next game.
Sarah, this is not the end of the season for Fairfield Ludlowe,
No,
as they
it's
have already
not.
qualified for the state tournament. I would imagine they can take some momentum from this effort this afternoon into the state tournament.
Absolutely, like I mentioned, we're excited for the state tournament. We just would not like to see any FCIAC teams in the first round. But yes, we are excited. We have a lot of hope for the state tournament.
No, absolutely. And we're going to hear from DAF Media's Brendan Ross as we say goodbye to Kari Johns, Sarah Huntington. Thank you so much, ladies. An unbelievable job this afternoon on this broadcast. Can't thank you enough for hopping aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, we are going to go down onto the field with Brendan Ross, who is standing by. Actually, we're having some technical issues here. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. We are back here at Stadium Field on the campus of Darien High School. Waiting for Brendan Ross. Give us a minute here. All right, Brendan Ross is standing by. And Brendan, let's talk about some of the other Darien Blue Wave teams in action this afternoon.
Hey, man. As I said earlier, the girls volleyball team played today against Norwalk. They came out with the win. We had a 3-0 sweep. Their score goes by 25 to 19, 12, 25 to 10. The team just gonna the girls are trying to make SEAC. They're currently up at Ridgefield quarterfinals. It is currently a 0-0 score. So we'll bring you more on that when that concludes. Hockey, as we said, I'll try to get a interview with Mo Minikis in a couple minutes, but a 2-0 win, a 2-1 win. They go on to play the winner of number 8 Ridgefield and number Greenwich. We'll come back with an interview with Mo Minikis in a couple minutes.
All right, Brendan, thank you very much. We're going to try to get Mo Minikis up here to this broadcast location. But again, the final score of this one, Darien beats Fairfield Ludlowe in a highly entertaining FCIAC quarterfinal matchup in field hockey. And we will be right back. For those of you still on this live stream, stand by. We are awaiting Darien field hockey head coach Mo Minikis to talk about her team's 2-1 win over Fairfield Ludlow this afternoon at Stadium Field in the quarterfinals of the FCIAC tournament. Darien moving on to the semis of the conference tournament. Damian Andrew joined by Brendan Ross. And what an effort this afternoon by the Blue Wave, Brendan.
Hey there, everybody. That was like as you said, that was a great game by both teams. Darien came up with the 2-1 victory, I believe. I was running back and forth from volleyball, but yeah, like you said, 2-1 victory, great game. Goals came from Kiki Tropsa as well as Katie Elders. We have a quick score update for you from girls soccer. Darien, or Ridgefield, I should say, beat Darien 1-0. That means that Ridgefield will be playing the winner of Trumbull, number 6 Trumbull, or number 3 Ward. So we'll be waiting that game. Damien?
Yeah, that's a big big game for the Blue Wave, obviously in Ridgefield, taking on the Tigers. And as we mentioned, we're waiting to hear from Darien head coach Mo Minikis after her team's big 2-1 win over Fairfield Ludlow in the FCIAC quarterfinals. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with head coach Mo Minikis. We are back here on the DAF Media Network, joined with Brendan Ross and, of course, the head coach of the Darien field hockey team, Mo Minikis. A little bit of a sigh of relief for you after this win. What an entertaining and well-played game between two quality opponents. You get the 2-1 win over Fairfield Ludlowe. That certainly had to feel good.
It did feel good. We knew it was going to be a game like that. Ludlow is well coached. The girls are feisty and they're fast and they don't give up. I was very pleased with our first goal to get us on the board.
Yeah.
I thought we were pounding on them at the beginning but not really making it happen, and then they had some moments and momentum shifts, and then we get a little nervous. So it was great to score that first goal on a beautiful corner, and it was especially great to score that second goal on an even better corner.
Yeah, set pieces, as we
Yeah.
talked about at the beginning of the season, such a
Yes.
big part of this game. Brendan?
As you said, as Damien said, girls came out with a great win today, 2-1. Goals came from Kiki Tropsa as well as Katie Elders.
Yes.
You said earlier that you're playing the winner of New Canaan and Norwalk. New Canaan, you already played. Both teams you already played this year. Beat New Canaan 2-1. Lost to Norwalk 1-2. How are you? What's your approach to the game coming up? They play at 7 o'clock tonight. We don't see the winner until 7, 8 o'clock. After that, so what is your approach leading into that game?
Our approach, honestly, at this point is to focus on our team and play our game and stick to our game plan and make adjustments as needed. But really just to kind of relax the girls, fire them up at the same time to just, go out there and play to win again.
Mo, can't thank you enough for joining us for a couple minutes. A great win today. 2-1, Darien beats Fairfield Ludlowe in the quarterfinals of the FCIAC tournament. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
And that will do it for this DAF Media Network broadcast. For Ben Olson, Ethan Haas, Ted Brennan, Brendan Ross, who is standing right here, and
Kara Tracy, can't forget her, camera girl.
Kara Tracy, who did a great job in the second half on camera one. This is Damian Andrew. Darien beats Fairfield Ludlowe 2-1. They are moving on to the semifinals of the FCIAC tournament. Have a great night, everybody.